All right, we're recording.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Yolo County Fire Safe Council meeting. Jonathan Flora, the chair, and I'm calling the meeting to order. Um, the second item on the agenda is to and approve an update as needed. The agenda for this meeting, and as I don't believe this has changed from what came out last week. And then the next item would be to have a motion and second for the minutes and any corrections. But first, I'm looking for a motion and second on the agenda, unless there's any reason we need to change it. So I'll hold a moment and listen for any comment.
Well, I'll move to approve the agenda as provided, and it's Don Palm.
Thank you, Don. Looking for a second.
This is Jack. I'll second.
Okay. Well, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Nay. Hearing none, that carries. All right. On to the meeting minutes from June 25th. That came out in an email from Tanya last week, so hopefully everybody has had a chance to review it. Are there any comments or corrections? Or do we have a motion and a second to approve?
Well, I'll move to approve again. It's Don
Thank you, Don. And who was that I interrupted?
Don
Yeah.
Palm.
Yep.
It's Jack. I'll second again.
All right, Jack, thank you. All right. All in favor for the minutes approved as sent, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Nay. Hearing none, we'll move on to member announcements. So look for anyone to speak up as per our regular process.
I have two announcements. The first one is the Colusa County Fire Safe Council, which is a brand new fire safe council, is having a meeting July 29th in the afternoon. They sent me this announcement and I'm sharing it because they're going to have somebody from a private insurance agency and the Colusa Farm Bureau to talk about rural insurance topics. So that is a little bit different. You know, we've had speakers from the California Insurance Commissioner's Office. So I thought folks might be interested in that. And it'll be at the Colusa County Farm Bureau conference room from 2 to 3 p.m. And I'll send that out to the group with a reminder if people are interested, but it'll be a little bit different perspective than what we've gotten in the past. And my other announcement is we're going to be doing a grazing for fuels reduction workshop in the Cape Valley. We had done one in Winters. There was lots of people there who were tired of weed whacking to learn more about small ruminants, not so much cows. And I think the Cape Valley is really poised to get some good fuels reduction, have the fuels literally consumed by animals. It's regenerative ag, and it's a great way to reduce your fuels. So that'll be Tuesday, August 5th, in that at 6:30. So there'll be a little presentation by Sarah Kaiser, who is an amazing grazing expert, and then lots of question and answers, and she can get into big picture, little picture, minute details, whatever folks want to know. So those are my announcements.
Okay.
I got something. Jesse, KP Valley Fire. I haven't been here for several months, but in the time that I haven't been here, we've been doing a bunch of burning up here. So thank you to the Prescribed Burn Association. They're really awesome to work with. And this year we were able to do a bunch of different events. And hopefully next year we'll be able to get even more acreage done. And we were really glad to be able to help out with the 128 burn. So everybody's efforts getting that back on the annual calendar are really appreciated. That's a super great burn. And hopefully next year we can pull one off up on Highway 16. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Chief. Ian, do you have an announcement?
Yeah, I don't know if we're official. Are we a member agency? Is it okay for me to make announcements at this point?
Anybody can make announcements if they are related to fire and safety and community.
They're related to community and maybe fire and safety, depending on who wants to participate. But on August 5th, we're holding our National Night Out events at our public housing site. So I think maybe the one most relevant for this group is El Rio Villa, just outside of Winters and county land there, 62 Shams Way. I could send a flyer out to the group if that would be helpful. It's going to be from 5 to 7. It's a great opportunity always for our residents to come out and not only get some free dinner, but we always have a lot of providers and partner agencies throughout the county set up tables and booths and give information out about different services and programs. Super fortunate to have Supervisor Frericks' office support the funds to buy the food and face paint and balloon animal artists and stuff for this year's event. And also very fortunate to have Winters Joint Unified. It's, a couple weeks before school starting, and so they're going to be doing a backpack giveaway. But given the area of the county it's in, we'd love to have any, fire representation, anything from Fire Safe Council and, any partners that want to participate. So I'll put my email in the chat if anyone wants to connect directly about that. Also, if appropriate, I'm happy to send Tanya the flyer for that and have that sent out to the group.
Yeah, send me the flyer. Last year I dropped some materials off for folks. So preparedness stuff. So that would be great. You can do that again.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, send me the flyer. I'll add it to my list of flyers to send out. No shortage of things going on.
Okay. Any other announcements? Guess hearing none, Tanya, turn it back to you for regular reports.
Well, we do have an action item. I had sent out 2 letters of support that would be nice for the Yolo County Fire Safe Council to support. However, in between when I sent this out and now, the Vacaville Fire Protection District is not going to be applying for any funding, but the Solano RCD will be applying for funding and adding some maintenance work to the projects that we've been working on with our early action funding. So it's a draft letter that I sent out because all the details haven't been finalized, but it would be great if folks would approve this and then Jonathan can sign it. The grant is due August 6th. So we need to decide today as a body before, and then you'll have to trust that we finalize it in a way that matches the grant request. And the Yolo County Resource Conservation District will also be providing a letter of support. So did folks all see that letter? And again, it's a draft, so it's not loaded with details.
I mean, it looked fine to me, and it's general enough, and really all I'm looking for is support. So I move that we support sending that letter to support Solano RCD.
I'm assuming you support both letters?
I'm only supporting the one because we're only doing the one, I think.
Yeah, the Vacaville Fire Protection District has decided not to apply for a
Oh,
grant.
okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll second that. This is Elaine.
Thank you, Elaine. Leanne, do you have a question?
I do. Thank you. Um, so remind me which part are you supporting? Some type of equipment for use outside of Davis along Highway 80 and 113?
No, that's grant is not going to be applied for.
Okay, okay. And neither is the dozer, correct?
Correct. Not at this time, maybe the next round.
Okay, thanks.
Is somebody handing out grants for bulldozers?
Well,
This is Karen Young. I can weigh in a little bit on that if
yes,
there are
thank you,
questions.
Karen.
Yeah, so Karen Young with Solano RCD. We had been talking with Chief Kuntz from the Vacaville Fire Protection District earlier this year about their need for a bulldozer and just kind of a standing request to fold that into any funding proposals that came across our desks that could support a dozer. And the initial thinking had been to propose it for the district's prevention work. So maintaining and installing fire breaks, maintaining access for suppression or prevention in tricky areas, and with the understanding that it would also be available for use as a suppression tool. This was also something that could, in theory, be shared across other districts in the county and also get some use on the project that the UC Davis Fire Department is considering at 113 and Highway 80. The feedback from Chief Abruzzini, who is serving as the interim chief for the consolidating Solano County Fire Districts, is that adding potentially a very large piece of equipment and vehicles associated with it and a lot of training requirements as they are in the midst of a consolidation effort might be a bit much. So we're pausing on that and planning to submit that in the proposal next year, hopefully.
So up on the screen is a
Wow.
letter to support the Solano RCD's request. And it's mostly for fuels work in Solano County with a little bit for us to do a prescribed burn with Solano and then do maintenance for our projects that are currently already resprouting.
No surprise there.
Yeah.
Did you guys treat those areas at all after they were cleared?
In one case we have.
Did it work?
But, well, it's just happened this week. So I'll tell you next spring.
Got to use the right chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
Before we began discussion, did we have I'm trying to remember.
We had a motion and a second.
I believe we had a motion, and we do have a second?
Yes, I seconded.
Okay, that's right. Once we start the discussion, I begin to forget those things. So I just wanted to make sure of that. Do we have any more discussion? Or are we ready to call the question?
Call it.
All right, here we call the question. So all in favor of approving this letter as to be finalized by RCD, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Nay. All right, that carries. Tanya, let me know when I need to come sign it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Now
I'm
we're on-
going, I'm going to stop sharing and we'll start our regular reports. We have Chief Justin Galvin from CAL FIRE doing our CAL FIRE report today. Chief, you're on mute. There you go.
There it is. Okay. You guys hear me all right?
Yes.
As we spoke earlier, I'm Justin Galvin. I'm the new Delta Camp Battalion Chief, Battalion 1405. I took Miguel Watson's position when he transferred out. So if you guys are familiar with him and what he did, that's now me. As far as fire activity in the unit, it's in the SRA has been very minimal so far statewide. Most of our activity has been in the FRA. The unit is fully staffed right now, so all of our aircraft, helicopters, tankers, all of our fire engines, dozers, and crews are all online. This week, particularly, there's some lightning forecasted the next 4 to 5 days up in Siskiyou, Lassen, Modoc area, and Trinity Alps. I would anticipate losing some resources up north if we do get some starts, and that may affect an engine or two here on the east side. As far as broadcast burning goes, we're done with it until late fall. And we were able to accomplish about 430 acres of SRA dealt with by prescribed fire this spring. And I was talking to Trevor earlier today, and there's some hopes to start opening up the dozer lineup at Valley Vista soon. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that project. And then our fire engines have been able to take advantage of the low activity in the unit, and they're starting to pick up some defensible space inspections too. So that's always something that the state likes us to not forget about. So and that's about all I have. Yeah.
I have a question. Is that 430 acres of prescribed fires in the LNU?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
In our unit. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Does anybody?
When did 1489 get back in quarters? You guys brought the strike team back?
Yeah, the strike team came back, I believe, Monday. So 89's back at Brooks, 79's at Wilbur, and 69's at Leesville. 79 is a pre-designated resource to go out on a Charlie strike team if they are requested due to this lightning activity. We've got a couple of staffing patterns in place, staffing some more crews, some strike team leaders, and pre-identifying some resources to go out if we do get busy up north. So at least one engine will be affected by that immediately, and then depending on location and need, maybe another.
Copy that. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Leanne, you have a question?
Yes, thank you. I have a question for Justin. Have you ever done any prescribed burns in steep drainage areas? Because it seems like most of the prescribed burns that have been happening are on, pretty minimal slopes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As far as the 430 acres this year, is that what you're asking?
Right, but I want to ask you if you've ever done any prescribed burns in steep drainages, because I have some steep drainages and I'm considering maybe doing a prescribed burn. So I want to know the experience level that you guys have in an area like that.
Absolutely. I don't know if I can pinpoint a prescribed burn in that type of terrain, but throughout fire season, throughout our travels and all of our assignments during the year, absolutely, we put fire on the ground in steep areas. So we're familiar with that, if that's what you're asking. But as far as prescribed fire, it's usually limited to those higher traffic areas, those areas that are more prone to get starts. If you notice the area on 128 by Puda Creek there south of the dam or below the dam, that the purpose of that is to try to alleviate or catch those starts in that area. So yeah, I don't know that I can say that we've done it or that I've participated in steep terrain on a prescribed fire, but absolutely I've participated in and putting fire on the ground and getting some black acres as far as defensive firing or firing operations on large scale incidents.
So what I'm
I don't know if that
considering
answers
is
your
an
question or
area.
not.
So what I'm considering is an area that's already burned, and everything in it now is basically large dead trees
Gotcha.
that can't be removed physically with dozers, etc. It'd be
Right.
best just to burn it.
Maybe it's really hard to say. I know that with the crews over the years, I've done some things with them as far as removing the fuel chainsaws and pile burning in those areas. But without and stepping foot on it, it's hard to make a recommendation on how to treat it.
Okay, thanks.
That
I saw
might be
that Tracy Kettleman may have some information. If she would share what she has, that would be appreciated.
Yeah, we did the burn we did in Angwin that LNU supported. That was 28 acres in May. That had a lot of steep terrain, and we ended up, because some of it was so steep, we changed our firing operations and used what's called a berry pistol, where we basically shot fire into the unit. It worked really well.
that
Yeah,
also might.
it always depends on those receptive fuels. Is it full of brush? Is it full of grass? Fuels that are going to take, or are we just starting a bunch of small fires? So again, it takes a little bit of planning just to determine what type of prescription that ground actually needs.
Yeah, that might be more of a cool season prescribed burn as opposed to a fire break that one would do, like what just happened on 128.
Yeah, you would not want to do this in any type of dry weather.
Yeah.
It has to be done correctly. So who would be able to do it?
Leanne, where do you live at? Are you in the Cape Valley?
Pleasance Valley.
Oops, never mind.
This is Karen Young. Leanne, I'd be happy to follow up with you afterwards to set up a meeting with Chief Galvin and any other local resources that we can pull in to support a prescribed burn.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you, Karen. Any more questions for Chief Galvin? All right. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to pass it over to the Yolo County Office of Emergency Services, and Christopher is here today.
Good evening, everyone. It's just an update or reminder. So we'll be having our Disaster Service Council meeting August 14th at 10 a.m. That's still moving forward. Other than that, that's the end of my report that I have. Thank you.
All right, short and sweet. That goes over to me. And speaking of training, everyone here is welcome to attend the Qualified Entities Training for Defensible Space Assessments to support CAL FIRE. As Chief Galvin said, they managed to squeeze in a few while the weather's cool. So we'll be helping with that. And that's a 2-day training in August. So let me know if you're interested in joining that. That would be a training done by CAL FIRE. So that's first thing. Going into the project updates, as I shared in my coordinator report, our shaded fuel break up north of Rumsey was finished, and I have my favorite thing to do is share before and after photos. So I'm just going to roll through these. This shaded fuel break, again, it's a shaded fuel break, so it's not totally cutting everything down. It's a lot of limbing up, taking out small brush. We did leave a few bushes at spacing of about 25 feet, so it's not a totally denuded roadside. But it definitely looks a lot cleaner when you drive through there. But it was a little more conservative than usual. But you can see here, there's like every 25 feet, there's a shrub. And that was a mile of work. So that's that. And then in process, we have still waiting for the go-ahead from Caltrans to continue our shaded fuel break work along 128 on the other side of the road from the burn. But we did, we went through the whole process with an archaeologist who was talking to Caltrans, and so they're reviewing his report. And we do expect that to be approved, but the question is when. The other in process is the shaded fuel break along Highway 16 in Gwenda. That was something the Delta Camp crew has been working on, and we've had 2 days with them, and we're anticipating another day. So if they're not up fighting fire on the lightning strikes, they should be up in Gwenda on Monday the 4th. And then our crew is going to finish the shaded fuel break along cleaning up the fuels along County Road 34. They did a lot back in April, and now they have time to fit in finishing it, and we'll do a little bit more limbing along, oh gosh, I can't remember the name, but it's the entry road into Golden Bear. That's also been approved by the landowner to just do a little more limbing and push the fuels back from the road. And then also when it cools down, we'll be doing some limbing at the Bobcat Ranch. So for planning, as I mentioned before, we're trying to get some grazing going. So now's a good time to plan for that, for spring grazing for fuels reduction in West Winters area and Cape Valley. And there's a really gung-ho group in Solano County who up on Central Lane may be starting their own cooperative grazing, which would be really cool. And I also wanted to bring up a few, this is not an action item, it's more of a shall I move forward question. In terms of adding a few more projects to our West Winters fuel breaks. So this is Golden Bear here. Well, first of all, does anyone have any questions about the ongoing and completed projects?
No, but thanks for all your work in the Cape Valley. Looks good.
You're welcome. So turning to Winters, let's see. Okay, so here's the County Road 3485 shaded fuel break. This little section's going to get finished on Friday, and the county roads department is providing traffic control, so we're grateful for that. Thank you, Todd. So going into Golden Bear, there's this really scraggly, scary roadside here. So this area, well, let me back up. So we're trying to get some a nice escape route across PG&E property for Golden Bear. But that property got sold, so now we're starting all over again. Have to find the owner at some corporation. But in the meantime, they do have sort of a not very good escape route that goes along this road out here and into these vineyards. So I would like to limb up. These are mostly eucalyptus here. Clean those up so that folks can have let's see, I'm sorry, here it is. It's this road, and the names are not on here, which is kind of silly. Anyway, there's lots of duff and some little young eucalyptus. Just want to clean that up and make that a cleaner escape route. And that would be done very likely by a contractor. I need to go out there and actually look at it and scope it. So that's one potential project. I have not talked to the landowners. I'm asking you guys first before I go through any of that. And then another potential roadside project, zooming out. Bear with me as we zoom back up to Rumsey. There's a little, let's see, here we go. Coming into town in South Rumsey, there's this little S turn here that's got a bunch of scraggly non-native conifers. And that was one of the first projects that was suggested for the CWPP, our Community Wildfire Protection Plan. And before I ask any of these landowners for permission and start to deal with the Caltrans encroachment permit, wondering if it's okay with you guys to give me the go-ahead to start that planning. Yes, no, maybe.
And that'd be shaded fuel break.
Yeah, just limbing up the trees that are there, taking down smaller ones, usually like 12 inches or smaller, and chipping them. That could either be the Delta crew, depending on availability, or we would hire a contractor to do it.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Sound like good projects.
They're definitely a lot lighter than the bigger ones that we've done, but just moving forward to clean up ladder fuels for ingress and egress and fire breaks.
Tanya, this is Debbie Hunter. And I just wanted to say that's not a done deal about the PG&E land. I mean, they had surveyors up there, but it doesn't really mean that much. If you had those contacts with PG&E, I would check it out because
Oh, I actually got an email from the land agent who said that it sold. So I just, yeah, it's a kind of a conundrum, but I want to get permission from the right people because it's a huge process and PG&E was going to charge a fee to sign contracts. So, yeah, everything is so complicated. This is the piece of property that Debbie's talking about here. And we are going to have a nice escape route right here, right across it and down. It would have just been scraping off the weeds and then graveling it or treating it. Anyway.
What do you treat it with?
Well, we haven't done anything yet, so I'm not going to say. It would be weed whacked or I don't know. Or a ways off. Have to get the agreement signed first.
Well, my question is, what do you treat all the shrubbery with once you cut it down so it doesn't come back like gangbusters?
This is just grass here.
Okay.
So we would make scrape a road, and then mow it or spray it with glyphosate every spring. Should we get that far? The new landowner is or proposed landowner, I mean, who knows? It could be 6 months before it even gets settled, but it's some corporation. So,
Tanya, this may be.
Tanya, I'm out of here.
Okay, thank you, Jesse.
Tanya, I have a question. When you say you're treating a place so the underbrush won't come back, don't you have a concern that you don't want bare earth either?
No, there would not be bare earth. Oftentimes, so we've just done this with the last shaded field break. Is there's a shrub, cut it down, and then you paint the stump with herbicide so it won't grow back. But all the grasses and weeds and forbs and flowers around it will come back every year.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you certainly don't want bare earth.
No, because then you get erosion issues.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Good question. I think that's it for my project reports, unless anyone has any other questions. Okay.
Can you give me a price per foot to do clearing like that? along roadsides?
It's more
Did-
per mile.
Yeah, per mile's okay.
Yeah, so the projects that we've done so far are roughly about 50,000 per mile. And that's with about a 30 to 40-foot setback on either side of the road. It's a lot of handwork, hand cutting, and a little bit of mower arm work and chipping.
And you've chipped it all instead of piling it up and
We've not done any
the
pile
property,
burning,
no pile burning?
not along state highways. The county road that we did, we also chipped.
Wow.
Yeah. So maintaining it is really important because it is a big investment.
Right.
But maintenance, I imagine, would be 20% of that.
Thanks.
Any other project questions? So moving on to grant updates, I don't think we have any. Jesse just left, so don't have any small fire departments, but I will say there is a Leary Firefighters Foundation that provides volunteer or paid fire departments funding for training equipment and technology. So that a letter of interest is due August 15th. Do you know
See you
any?
guys. I got a dispatch.
Okay. Thank you. Be safe.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye. So yeah, so there's that for small fire departments. And we did send that out to Dunnigan and Zamora. And that is up for me. Allie, I'm going to turn it over to you for a PBA and outreach update.
Sure. Did you want to talk about the defensible space grant that we're going to go after?
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me. I did not have that in my notes. The California Fire Safe Council is providing a block grant for community defense. And since we have all this funding for community projects, we thought we would ask for funding for individual defensible space projects. And the most we can ask for is $250,000. I know that Pleasants Valley Fire Safe Council had a bit of issue getting traction. So we'll see how it goes. But we are going to be stepping up defensible space inspections. So if some people are not in compliance, then we can help them comply. So that's all to be determined. That will be due at the end of the month, and we'll probably ask for a letter of support at our August meeting. That's it in a nutshell. Allie, if you have anything to add.
No, just that it's due at the end of August, so August 31st. And I guess if you're potentially interested, then maybe reach out. Like Tanya said, we're just applying, so we haven't secured funding, but it'd be good to have some interested properties lined up if we do get funded.
That'll be for Winters, Rumsey, Gwenda, and K-Pay.
Yes.
And Tanya and Ali, what is that for again? I'm sorry, I missed.
It's defensible space in high fire areas. So like the zone 0 to 5, like cleaning shrubbery and such and burnable things around the house. And then that's zone 0 and then zone 1 brush out to 30 feet.
Would our housing at El Rio Villa be a
That is an
potential opportunity?
interesting question. We'll have to look into that.
Okay.
I'll make a note and see, because yeah, we'll just check. I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, that's a good
Awesome.
question.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Allie, take it away.
Okay, so for the Yolo Prescribed Burn Association, we don't have a ton to update on. I think I mentioned last meeting that we're working on developing some trainings for fall and spring, and that we're working with Napa and Solano to do it on more of a regional scale so that everybody can get trained up together. So more on that to come. And then just a general outreach reminder to, if you have prescribed burning that you want to do in your property in Yolo County in the high fire area, reach out to Bailey Adams, our Yolo Prescribed Burn Association coordinator. I'll drop her email in the chat again just in case. So that's the PBA update, and then quick outreach update. Right now I'm putting together a newsletter that'll feature some upcoming events in the region. And then I'm also planning a fire resilience programs 101, which I'm not sure exactly when that'll happen. I think we're aiming for end of August, early September, but it'll just be for folks that live in the high fire areas to come out and learn about our programming and what we can do, and how we can help you on your property. Probably some defensible space stuff and just, general fire preparedness stuff. But it'll be really to showcase all the programs that we have to offer and what can be done, and try to, inspire folks to take advantage of our programming. So more on that to come. Hopefully I'll have some outreach to share with you in the next couple of weeks that you can share with your groups. And then program updates. We hosted a Chipper Day on July 3rd in Zamora in the Cape Valley. We unfortunately weren't able to get out to Winters. So I think Tanya mentioned that the crew is completing the shaded fuel break, or the mini shaded fuel break along County Road 34. And so we're going to hit the property in Winters to finish chipping on this Friday. After that, I only have one property on the list. So we usually look for 4 to 5 properties to get a full day of chipping. So I know it's pretty hot outside, but if folks have any fuels that they want chipped, tell your neighbors that they'll probably be the first on the list, or one of the first on the list to get chipped. But nothing planned just yet. No chipper day planned just yet. And then the address sign program, haven't gotten many requests at all. So looking for new ways to get the word out and encourage folks to request their free address sign. But other than that, that's my report.
Thank you. So we are going to move on. Oh, Solano. Oh, Leanne, question.
Oh, how many properties were chipped in this last year
Oh, this
in Yolo
last
County? Yeah.
I'd have to look. I can try to pull that before I end a meeting and maybe drop it in the chat, Leanne. I don't have it off
Okay,
the top.
that'd be great. Thanks.
Okay, and last but definitely not least, RCD report from Solano. Karen. Karen, are you there?
Yes,
All right,
just frantically trying to unmute.
Okay.
Zoom and my phone are not always the best of friends. But hey, Solano RCD update time.
Yes.
Yes, Tanya?
Yes.
Can you
Yes,
hear
please.
me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I think my connection's a little bit iffy at the moment. So Solano RCD wrapped up our prescribed firework for the season, but we're continuing to support the community with requests for fuel reduction planning assistance, and working on funding proposals. As Tanya mentioned, we've got that CAL FIRE wildfire prevention grant proposal in the works at the moment. So additional project updates. I know that I heard some Prescribed Burn Association updates from Yolo, but Ali and Tanya, I'm sorry, did you go over the steering committee piece?
No, I didn't, Karen. I forgot to mention that.
All right. So the Yolo and Solano Prescribed Burn Association application for steering committee members is open for the next week. So this is a volunteer role, probably a fairly low time commitment, but just looking for folks who are interested in being leaders with the local prescribed fire community. You don't need to have extensive experience, but an interest in using prescribed fire and helping fellow landowners and land managers utilize good fire as a tool for various management goals is one of the things we would like to see in possible applicants. It's a fairly short online form to apply, but if you are looking for that, please, Allie, would you mind dropping the link to that in the chat box? Sorry, I am not able to pull that up at the moment.
No worries, I'll pull it up.
Thank you. Other updates, the Solano Fire Safe Council is starting a strategic planning process. So we'll have more information about that and other work that's going on in that realm at the next Solano Fire Safe Council meeting, which is scheduled for Wednesday, August 6th at 4 p.m. There will be a invite going out for that, an agenda out within the next week. And then I think I heard that the qualified entities defensible space training did get mentioned earlier. Is that correct, Tanya and Ali?
It did, and I'm going to share the link that you sent in the chat. Karen sent a link for this. Yeah, if you want to sign up. Or talk to me first.
Right. So, yeah, August 13th and 14th. Yes. And if you are in Solano County and you're interested, or you know someone who's involved in a fire safe council in Solano County, please send it their way. Hoping we can get some good local representation and have trained volunteers throughout the LNU after this event. That is it for concrete updates from Solano RCD at this time. There are some that are not yet solidified. They're a bit more gelatinous, but I'm hoping to have updates for you at the next meeting about a biochar kiln loan program that Solano RCD is going to be starting up for people who are looking for another option for converting or dealing with biomass from fuel reduction projects. And we should have specifics about the proposal for the CAL FIRE Wildfire Prevention Grant ready to share with you at that point. Thanks. I'll be on for another minute if there are questions for Solano.
Thank you. Questions for Solano? Okay, Community Fire Safe Council reports. Cape Valley, I don't see Moira here, but Jonathan, do you have any updates?
No updates other than what you had what Jesse and you'd already mentioned on the shady fuel break that's occurred. We're continuing to plan for things throughout the rest of the year, or more towards the fall, and looking forward to the grazing, learning more about grazing in a few weeks, in a week.
Cool, thank you. It looks like Napa is not here, but Pleasant Valley is here. Hi
all.
Oh, there's Leanne.
Yeah. We're continuing to use up our funds from the California Fire Foundation. We have 2 more properties currently on our list, and that should about complete the total of the $15,000 that we received. And we've been using Corazon Del Campo, which has worked out really great, and I highly recommend them. They will also work for individual property owners on an as-needed basis. The other thing we got going on is I found out from PG&E they have a new Report It app. So if you have any power poles that are damaged or leaning, or trees that are dying underneath it, for example, like we have on Pleasants Valley Road, we simply use the app to report it, and they take care of it, hopefully.
Wow.
That's about it.
That's great. Thanks for sharing that. And West Winters Fire Safe Council, Debbie.
Well, I haven't intended to be the spokesman, but since I am the secretary and I take the notes, I'll look at what I've got. We just had a meeting on Monday, and there were two topics that we talked about. One was the grazing, and there was a meeting that several of our members went to with Sarah Kaiser, and she talked about creating a plan for grazing, and having, the different aspects to it and things to be concerned about and how to set up a cooperative. I believe that it looks like within Golden Bear that there are potentially about 150 acres of residents that are willing to do grazing. So, that all depends on the particulars of it, but it seems like a lot of people are in favor of that, which would be a huge reduction of fuel in that area. The second thing we talked about is we're trying to become a Firewise community here, and so we're doing the residential assessments, and so we're just trying to keep on top of that and looking forward to September, when we hope to complete all of those assessments and begin the application process, and looking at the things that we need to do to complete the application and get it in before the end of the year.
Cool. Thank you. Okay, that is it for reports. Gonna turn it back over to you, Jonathan.
Okay. Well, at this point, we're to item number 6, which is to set the next meeting and adjourn. The next meeting would be Wednesday, August 27th. And as we're going with grant applications and other activity, we probably should go ahead and plan on having a meeting that be easier to cancel than it would be to schedule. So be looking for, so be expecting the meeting on Wednesday, August 27th, unless I hear a large outcry that we don't need one. And be looking for a motion and second to close this meeting.
I will make a motion that we do set our next meeting at that August date, and a motion to adjourn.
I second that, Jack.
All right. Thank you, Jack. All right. We got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. See you August 27th.